Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a town tour of Loughborough, so with that being said, let's get straight into things. Now, just to give you an idea of bearings, this pathway we're on currently starts by the Students' Union, and you'll see the East Park entrance to the university on your right in just a second, where you will likely arrive on your first day at Loughborough University if you are set to study at Loughborough. Also, it's worth pointing out that if you take the next exit at the roundabout on the left and follow that straight down, then on the right hand side you will find Loughborough Hospital. The route into town itself is very easy to follow, as it's pretty much just a straight line after crossing the roundabout. Now on the way into town, I'll slow down the video into real time to show you a few key locations that's worth being aware of, but for those parts that aren't quite as necessary, I'll speed those sections of the video up to keep you guys engaged throughout. If you're set to travel somewhere such as London via a coach, then the nearest pick-up stroke drop-off bus stop that National Express use for Loughborough University is located here. I'll show you where the second one that National Express use for Loughborough that is located later on in town, as well as where the train station is for any coaches that use an alternative pick-up location. On the left, we also have Harry French Accommodation. This is one of the 3 university halls of residence that are located off campus. Harry French is situated on a split side either side of Ashby Road, so in a second you'll also see the other half of Harry French just on the right of us. Now, for those wondering about accommodation options in town ahead of second and third year of university, on our left is one section of the Student Triangle. Now, I'll put on a screen a map that marks out what parts of Loughborough are classed within the Student Triangle, and for those wondering why it's called this, simply put, this is the area you will find most of the students who are living in town, although obviously there is housing options available outside the Student Triangle as well. Now, as we pass the Girl with a Slice of Orange mural, we begin to approach the town centre, which is where most of the points of interest are located. So I'll pass through this section at a slightly faster rate, but feel free to pause the video if there's anything that stands out, as there is a selection of restaurants and smaller stores along this road as we're set to head into town. As we're just about to reach the town centre, the first spot that's worth mentioning on our left is Sainsbury's. So Sainsbury's is one of the supermarket options you have in town. There's also a Tesco's, which we will pass a little bit later on over on the left of us, and it's worth pointing out that there is even a Lidl, which is located away from the town centre, so we won't pass by that in today's video, but it is another option to be aware of. So here we begin to enter the town centre and the main points of interest, which I'll point out as we're heading through. As you'll see in the video, there's several bus stops around town which the Sprint bus operates at, take you from the university into town and or the train station at £2.20 for a single, running every 10 minutes during term time Monday to Friday, and at slightly longer intervals on Saturdays and Sundays. On the left of the bus stop you also have the burger takeaway chain Fat Buns, and on the right hand side of us you have the Griffin, which is one of the pubs in Loughborough. The Griffin is a very popular option for students, especially with their Lost in Music garden parties in the summer. They always go down well and they're a favourite of many students. On the left we also have Baobab Cafe, which is a South African themed coffee shop with gluten-free vegan options. Next to Baobab you also have Locate Me, which is one of the letting agents in Loughborough Town. On the right we have the newest nightclub in Loughborough, Project. Project hosts several great night events such as Bonkers Bingo, which are always again very popular choices. The other clubs in town are Echoes and Firefly alongside Revs, which we're all passed by and are further great options for nights out. The other clubbing option in Loughborough is the Student Union based on campus, with its 2 rooms, the basement and the treehouse, where the tickets often sell out. Next to Project on the right is Iceland. On the left we have our recently opened vintage clothes shop, Shop Vintage. The other option for vintage clothes is Loughborough Vintage, who do pop-up shops in town and on campus. And as we carry on strolling through, you can see a variety of different shops. Next up of particular interest is Tarbush on the right with the red and white exterior, which is a Lebanese and Moroccan restaurant. On the left is one of the hairdressers I'd recommend for any guys looking for a decent barbershop. So that barbershop is called Smart Cuts, and they always do a great job with trims at a reasonable price. As we're strolling through this next part of the town, I will speed it up slightly as we're heading through to the next part as we head up to the town hall. Feel free again to pause the video at any point of interest, but some of the stores along here include the likes of Poundland, Santander, Specsavers, Greggs, Vodafone and Costa. So as we approach the town hall, just to show you what is around the corner if you were to turn right instead of following the path around to the left, the main points of interest here are of course the town hall in front of you. Also around the corner you have Odeon Cinema, NatWest Bank, and if you carry on going straight you will find the Moon and Bell Weatherspoons and Jam Garden. Or if you do a right just by Odeon, you will pass Loughborough Library, Charnwood Museum and Queen's Park, which is one of the things I've included in my top 10 things to do in Loughborough video if you haven't watched that already. Going back to if you were to follow the path around and take a left, then you will see in front of you noticeably the market stalls which have been set up ahead of the Loughborough's retail market in the town centre, which takes place every Thursday and Saturday from 8 AM to 4 PM and has been part of the town's history for over 800 years and actually won the Best Large Outdoor Market of the Year award in 2017. So as we pass by the market stalls, you can again see the surrounding shops, which include the likes of Superdrug, Barclays, Primark and the entrance to the Carillon Court shopping centre, which has a selection of shops inside for you to explore. Again, as we're passing by this next section, I'll point out the likes of Boots and Holland & Barrett for any health and wellbeing needs, and also next to Boots you have the Loughborough University Careers and Enterprise Hub. On our right hand side you can see that there is a Subway, which is one of the many food options available in town. Other options include McDonald's, German doner kebab and the numerous food vans which are located around this area, which are opened up during the day. And on the right hand side, just past the food vans, you'll see we're bypassing the British Heart Foundation charity shop, which is one of the charity shops in Loughborough. On our left we have Champ Sports Bar and also a variety of other small shops you can explore if you head through to the church gate on the right hand side of us. Coming up next on our left hand side we have one of the most popular spots in town for students, Echo's nightclub, with its 2 themed rooms which always draws very large crowds every single week. From here we're set to head up to the Rush's shopping centre, and just before we reach, on the left we've got Wilko, and in the background in front of us, for those who are curious, that is actually All Saints Church. So this is the start of the Rush's shopping centre with Subway in front of us, and we also pass through here. You can also see the likes of TK Maxx, JD Sports, Next, the current NHS vaccination centre, Pure Gym, M&S Food Hall, Sports Direct and as mentioned earlier Tesco's, which is another popular option for grocery shopping. As a tip, make sure to get a Tesco's club card if you do shop at Tesco's, as it will save you a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. As we head down the steps past Tesco's, you will see on our right we have our second spoons, the Amber Rooms. Now from here, if we were to take a right again, you would be heading back towards the direction of the University and Regent Palace Retail Park, where you can find the likes of Dunelm and Currys besides KFC. You can also see in front of us, marked by the yellow sign in the distance, you have Unite Students Waterway Student Accommodation, which is one of the accommodation options in town that is not part of the university's halls of residence, although like with all our halls of residence, you can still affiliate to a hall if you are living off campus. On the other side of the road you have the Swan in the Rushes, which is another of the pubs in the Loughborough area, as well as a variety of restaurants on the other side of the road. This bus stop outside of Amber Rooms is used if you are set to travel somewhere such as London. Then the likes of National Express also use this stop as the bus stop for Loughborough rather than the bus stop I showed earlier, which is the designated bus stop for Loughborough University. From here we're heading back in the direction of the town centre, and you can see on the right of us another very popular pub in Loughborough, the Tap and Clapper. Now as we bypass the next section of town, we can see again a variety of different shops, and the main point of interest for students in particular is going to be Firefly nightclub, which hosts several popular nights out, and next door to Firefly is Mario's Pizza Takeaway. As we're set to approach the town centre again, I'll pass through this point at a slightly faster rate as this area is less populated aside from the likes of the Bell Foundry pub. On our left hand side we can see another of the banks in town, Halifax, and just next door you have Nationwide, and on the right we have the likes of Sunday Gelato Dessert Parlour. So this is where we bypassed earlier, as you'll probably recognise by the market stalls and the German doner kebab and McDonald's stores, but instead this time I will show you what you can find if you took a right instead of taking a left. So as we bypass the Lloyd's Bank, if we were to cross the road and go straight from here, then you would have eventually reached Luxurio, which is another student accommodation off campus, not part of the university halls of residence. And along the way to Luxurio, I'll quickly just show you a glimpse of what you would bypass that might be of particular use. So as we head down here, you can see just to the right of the screen the Sprint Kinch bus mentioned earlier that runs in a loop from the university to the town to the train station. And alongside a few restaurants and smaller stores which you can see on your screen, the main point of interest I would say from this section is the post office, which can provide a number of services alongside dealing with post and packages. And just further up as well, it's worth noting you have the Phantom Pub, which is again another popular spot for social events. But as we head back to where we were previously, and if we were to carry on following the path around to our left, then you will pass by a further selection of dining options catering to a variety of different palates, as well as the Loughborough Arms on the left, and just further up you can find the Loughborough Baptist Church next to Heavenly Desserts. Over on the right hand side you can see the Baxter Gate Leisure Development, which was actually the former hospital site. Within Baxter Gate you can find Cineworld, Nando's, Pizza Express, Mimosa, Starbucks, Loungers, Loco Mexicano, Preto and Bella Italia. Also, if you head over to Baxter Gate and follow the alleyway next door to Nando's, you can find the Break escape room. As mentioned earlier, on our left we have Loughborough's Revolution Bar, which acts as a bar and restaurant during the day, as well as providing late night party vibes, especially for its show star special events such as Bailo Conmigo and Bollywood nights. Coming up next on our left we have Pizza Pizzeria, a lovely Italian pizzeria and one of many great dining options available in Loughborough. And as we draw to a close this video, you can see the last few stores on our right and left, and if you continue to walk straight past Beacon Bingo for another 10 minutes, you will reach Loughborough railway station, and on the right hand side for reference, there is Loughborough's Magistrates Court, and on the left is Study Inn, which is another student accommodation option. But that's going to be all for today's video. Hopefully you found this helpful, and as always I wish you guys all the best.